This week on Vaticano, the Vatican Museums reopen again to visitors after being closed for roughly 3 months. Discover with us how the museums are adapting to these trying times. Pope Francis advances the cause for the recognition of holiness of Father Michael McGivney, founder of the Knights of Columbus. He'll soon be beatified. Also, learn with us about the ancient origins of the feast of Corpus Domini. And we'll take you to Poland to introduce you to a Eucharistic miracle that happened in the town of Legnica in 2013. For this and more, Vaticano starts now. The spiritual life in Roman churches is slowly getting back to normal, although with new security measures to ensure personal health. The activities of the Holy See in the Vatican are also restarting, with a few particularities with respect to ordinary times. Pope Francis continues to broadcast his general audiences live from the Apostolic Palace, reaching the entire world. During the June 3rd audience, the Holy Father remembered the tragic death of George Floyd in the United States.
A seguito della tragica morte del signor George Floyd.
And condemned every manifestation of racism and exclusion.
At the
same time, we must recognize that the violence of recent nights is self-destructive and self-harming. Nothing is gained by violence, and much is lost.
E tanto si perde. Domino Vobiscum.
While the Wednesday audiences are still just for digital pilgrims, the Holy Father has started meeting with people again in private audience.
Gesù perdona.
Meanwhile, the Sunday Angelus prayer is back to normal, except for the small number of international pilgrims in St. Peter's Square. People who, in gathering, must respect social distancing. And after 3 months of unprecedented empty halls and silence, the Vatican Museums have been brought back to life. EWTN was there for the reopening.
From June 1st, the Vatican Museums will finally be open to the public. They will be reopened after almost 3 months of closure, with a renewed spirit of sharing. sharing the extraordinary universal heritage of history, art, and faith which they have preserved for centuries.
In order to be able to reopen from June 1st, it will of course be necessary to respect the rules spoken of for months now, that is, the observance of social distancing and also of hygiene norms. So people entering the museum will be subject to temperature checks with the dedicated thermoscanners. Masks must be worn and hands must be sanitized with the available hand sanitizing gel. In order to better protect the health of everyone, online booking is compulsory and can be done directly from the official website www.museivaticani.va. This will allow us to stagger the entrances during opening hours. All the necessary information will be found in the booking confirmation voucher and on the website.
We have reopened with many novelties, such as this one behind me, the restoration of the room of Constantine, which is the magnificent fourth room of all the Raphael rooms in the Vatican. They will reopen with novelties that emerged from this restoration of the figure of justice, which reaffirms the work of the great and divine painter Raphael Sanzio.
Along with the Vatican Museums, the pontifical villas of Castel Gandolfo, located at the summer residence of the Roman pontiffs, have also been reopened to the public. In a few moments, we'll be back with more on Vaticano. Francis advanced the causes for sainthood of various holy men and women at the end of May, including Venerable Father Michael McGivney, the founder of the Knights of Columbus. A first miracle was officially attributed to his intercession, so Father McGivney will be beatified. With the second miracle, he would be eligible for canonization, official recognition of sainthood. Since the beginning of the year, the Holy Father has also promulgated 8 other decrees regarding 10 candidates for eventual canonization. And one is the cause for the young Italian computer programmer Carlo Acutis. Carlo was born in London to an Italian family and grew up in Milan, Italy. From his childhood, he was determined to reach heaven. As a teenager, he demonstrated an extraordinary ability in working with information technology and created a website that showcased the Eucharistic miracles of the world. Nicola Gori, journalist and promoter of Carlo's canonization cause, joins us to speak about him. Nicola, can you tell us about the latest developments in the cause for canonization of Carlo Acutis, and will he be beatified before the end of this year?
Well, as they say, the beatification is ready. It was simply postponed because of the pandemic on account of the health emergency. Because this was after the recognition of the miracle attributed to the intercession of Carlo Acutis, that is, of a child living in Brazil, suffering from a congenital pancreas disease. This is the miracle that has been recognized and why Carlo Acutis is able to be declared blessed. Therefore, we are waiting for the nulla osta from the Vatican authorities in order to celebrate the beatification.
Nicola, some people have spoken about Carlo Acutis as a potential patron saint, eventually, of computer programmers. Would that not be providential, in a sense, if his beatification were to take place with the participation of many people online because they couldn't potentially be there in person?
Immaginate un ragazzo è morto a soli 15 anni che riusciva a programmare.
Imagine a boy who died when he was only 15 years old, who was able to program and develop ideas or websites from university texts when he was still in middle school, secondary school, primary school. So imagine already a massive genius for computer science with this background who brought the spirit and the drive for evangelization to these disciplines via the internet.
Carlo Acutis non ha mai usato internet.
Let's remember that Carlo Acutis never used the internet except for good. Never. During his cause of beatification, computer technicians made analysis on his computer in order to see what sites he had visited. It was found that he used the entire computer, all the research he had done for good, precisely to accomplish something that was very close to his heart: the Eucharistic Miracles Exposition. This exhibition took him a whole summer, a summer before his death. He searched for where great Eucharistic miracles had occurred in the world, those recognized by the Church from the beginning of the Christian era up until our days.
If we look at his life and those virtues that he lived and shared, how do you think Carlo Acutis would live this current situation with the Church largely online across the world, with churches closed? And in this case, he was, like you said, sort of a genius online. How can we use him and his life as a model for our own activities and missionary activities online?
Sicuramente se fosse vissuto ai nostri giorni, in questi giorni,
Surely, if he had lived in our day, in these days, he would have been glued in front of the computer to develop what he cared about, the formation of Christians. He warned that even catechists, often lacking in training, are a bit overwhelmed, and so he surely would have arranged something so that anyone connected with the computer in this period, in which we are constricted to our homes, could deepen his or her faith. And all the more reason he would have had no fear of putting himself out there, personally, to defend the doctrine of the Church, as he did in life, even in the face of criticism, even before someone much more important than him. He was not afraid, and he nevertheless reaffirmed his thoughts, what he believed in the faith, but also concerning the morals of the Church. And he was not afraid to reiterate his point of view. Thus, I believe that indeed Carlo would have been suitable for our times, both as a model and as a person to follow, to listen to. Because he always told us, one of his famous phrases was, "We are all born as originals, but many die as
originali e
photocopies."
molti muoiono come fotocopie.
Nicola, did you know Carlo Acutis personally?
No, io non l'ho conosciuto. Io conoscevo i suoi genitori.
No, I didn't meet him. I knew his parents. His mother told me about her son, and then when he passed away, when he died, they were looking for someone who could write a biography of Carlo. And so the mother contacted me and gave me all the material so that I could write one. That's how my first encounter with Carlo came about, through his words, through the stories of his parents, through the stories of his relatives and friends. We put together his first biography.
Attraverso i racconti dei parenti, degli amici, e abbiamo messo insieme la prima biografia.
Thank you so much, Nicola Gori, postulator for the cause of canonization of Carlo Acutis.
Thank you very much to you, and thank you very much to all people who will watch this video.
Coming up, we'll tell you more about the Eucharistic Miracles exhibition, the masterpiece of Carlo Acutis. Stay with us. This extraordinary work was started by Carlo Acutis when he was only 12 years old. The Carlo Acutis Association now continues his work, constantly updating the website. Everyone can access it, seeing the miracles, even downloading the panels in high quality for free, to print and place them in their parishes. The extraordinary quantity of Eucharistic miracles is overwhelming. Eucharistic miracles have taken place on almost every inhabited continent. The miracle that occurred in Bolsena, Italy, moved Pope Urban IV to establish the solemnity of Corpus Christi in 1264. Since that time, dozens of similar miracles have occurred throughout the world, and the most recent in the Polish city of Legnica. The town of Legnica houses the Eucharistic miracle that took place in the beginning of 2014, right here inside the Church of St. Hyacinth. Father Andrzej Jombra is the parish priest here and a witness to the miracle.
In Christmas 2013, the consecrated host fell on the ground during the distribution of Holy Communion, and then this host was put in water, and after 10 days, a red spot appeared on it.
The local bishop ordered a scientific examination. After studying it, the Szczecin University's Department of Histopathology identified the material as myocardium, fibers of human heart muscle, with alterations that often appear under severe stress or agony.
After verifying the documentation, the congregation agreed that this research be published, and in a letter to the bishop, they pointed out that in a few years' time, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith would still involve itself in this ongoing event, because the Church is most interested in the spiritual fruits.
There have been many spiritual fruits, and people from around the globe want to witness the miracle with their own eyes. For Father Andrzej, the miracle not only bears witness to the transformation of the bread into Christ's flesh, but also to the daily transformation of hearts when people see the miracle and believe.
I am most glad to see sudden conversions in the lives of some people. We have noted such situations. I mean, there is even one person in our parish boundaries who has been hostile to the Church his entire life and has even fought against it. This same person has also been accused of various crimes. In an unexplained, extraordinary way, he was converted at home. I mean to say, God converted him. And for a few days, he did not know what was happening to him at all. He did not understand his inner state. And after 50 years, he went to his first confession and his first Holy Communion. And indeed, he radically changed his life and his attitude towards God, and became a very ardent believer.
Monstrance is placed before a Divine Mercy image to remind visitors of his loving heart.